What is up? Welcome to the NBA Rundown. I hope everybody had a great holiday weekend and the NBA rolls on. JC, Tyler, we were talking before the show. I'm a little flustered. We had so much sports going on this weekend. And then, of course, we were balancing all the family duties, but we're here. We're ready to go. The projections are on the playbook. And this is going to be kind of a first look, a little less prepared than usual, but we're going to talk through these games and find the winners, and then we'll go ahead and put the tags up there after we talk. JC, glad to have you back. You joined us on Talking Touchdowns on Friday, and now we have you here to talk the NBA. I had a great holiday weekend. How was yours?
I was pretty low-key, didn't do too much. Lost some money. We kind of missed the mark this weekend, but that's great about sports betting, man. Always a new day, so we're gonna get it back today.
Yeah, definitely. And not discouraged at all. These things happen. And when you've been on the run that we have, especially in the NBA, you have one bad day. You're not necessarily that surprised. You don't win every time. We just win most of the time, right, Tyler? We missed you last week. We missed you over the weekend. How did things go? Are there any animals left in the wilderness, or did you kill them all?
I didn't get any. They're all left in the wilderness. They
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I seen one, and it wasn't legal to shoot, so couldn't take it down. And
what's not legal?
I basically when they have the horns on their head, like a buck for the deer, they need to have 3 points up in PA to shoot them. The one I seen legit had 2 points on its head like this.
Oh, all right. So, all right, there you go. Sounds like my betting weekend, right? Just couldn't get the bucks, but I see you guys in the chat. I see my guy M Stack, right side Clyde's here, Trampus is here, and my guy Brandon. Let's dive right in because we're going to be talking touchdowns right after this, Tyler. The Atlanta Hawks in Philadelphia taking on the Sixers. This game's been moving right around a pick. Right now at Bookmaker, it's at -1, total of 221. Tyler, I do have the projections up on the NBA playbook right now. I have the Timberwolves winning by point. No, I'm sorry. That's the wrong game. I have the Hawks winning by one. I mean, the 76ers winning by 1.3 points here. But, of course, we know that these Philadelphia projections are out of whack because of the people going in and out of the lineup. JC, you said before we started that Embiid is still out. So, of course, we have to factor that in. Still, this is a pretty good team here. But I think I would like Atlanta there. Who do you like here? Oh, Embiid's questionable here.
Yeah, he got upgraded to questionable 2 minutes ago.
So are we just waiting for the news on this one then? I mean, because if he plays, that line should be like -4, right?
Yeah, but I think if you like them already, you take them now because you're getting the better line. And you just cross your fingers and hope he's in. With those midday upgrades, they usually do play. So I do think he plays tonight. But Fred, we talked about these Philly games before with Mangone, who will be on with us tomorrow. Yeah. We just stay away from these games, regardless if it's the best spot on the board. We just save ourselves the mental health of betting Philly games. But if I only had Philly Bucks and I could only bet this game, I'd be taking Philly.
Yeah, if Embiid's in, I think he's got a good chance. We know what these teams did when they played in that series 2 years ago. Wonder if there's a little residual there. Looking at the total, I have this one at 225. It's a total 221, but I don't necessarily trust my projections right now because of the way that people have been moving in and out of the Philadelphia lineup. JC, do you have some wisdom for us there? Tyler and I are kind of frozen here when it comes to this Philly game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough call when you don't know Embiid's going to play. I mean, if this is a line without Embiid, I got to take Atlanta. Like, I think, Trae Young, he's on a bit of a hot streak. He put up, only 22 against Miami, but prior to that, 44 against Houston, 35 against Sacramento. Keeping in mind, Philly, they keep opponents to only 106 points, which is the lowest in the league. So while Atlanta averages 114 a game, I lean towards the over, but a lot of that really just depends on whether or not Embiid's playing. So that's kind of the type of news I'm going to need to hear before I make a decision. If he's out, I'm jumping on the over in Atlanta.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can't trust Doc Rivers when it comes to this injury news anyway. So let's just move right on. I mean, great job, Philly. Great job, NBA. I mean, we can never properly predict a Philadelphia game before it starts. The Minnesota Timberwolves, another same game.
There might be one prop in that game I might have interest looking at because Trae Young has shot the three ball a little bit better recently, and his 2.5 is plus money on FanDuel. I think he can get 3 threes in this matchup against Philly, especially if Embiid's in, because he's not going to want to go in the paint much. He's going to shoot a ton more threes, so definitely like that over 2.5.
Over 2.5 for Trae Young threes.
Yep, and he's hit that 2 of his last 3 games.
Yeah.
Interesting question here. Clyde says, where does scoring come from Atlanta if Trae is slowed down, stopped? I mean, they have plenty of other options, I think, on the offensive end. Obviously, DeJounte Murray can throw some in there. John Collins can be a good scorer. It's interesting how John Collins is so good and just he doesn't get any love from that team at all.
I don't know.
DeAndre Hunter can get hot.
But just a random thing, looking at this injury report, by far the worst injury on this report that I have to deal with would be Clint Capella's dental pain. I don't know about you guys, but toothaches are by far the worst pain in the world.
Yeah.
I do not want to deal with a toothache. And if it's bad enough to put me on an injury report in the NBA, you know that dude's in some pain.
Yeah.
Just pull that thing out of his head and get him on the floor,
man.
Get
that thing out of there.
The funny thing is, I think with Okongwu's development, I don't even know how much Clint Capella being out really hurts the Hawks. And I might even think I would move him.
Because if Okongwu gets into foul trouble, they really don't have another guy behind him.
Then they just go small with Collins. Of course, I'm assuming that Embiid's out there. Of
course,
that would be an issue.
If Embiid's out there, you are screwed.
But it just seems like he beats the best centers anyway. So it's like you might as well try and get something going on the offensive end. So, all right, but I do like that Trae prop. He should probably have a big night in Philadelphia. The Minnesota Timberwolves +1 in Washington taking on the Wizards. Total of 227. I screwed this one up earlier, but Tyler, I had this game even. I had Minnesota winning by 0.2 points. Not much of an edge there. I have it at 228. The total is 227. Right now, this game screams pass to me, but is there something that I'm missing? Is there an edge that can be found, not purely in the statistics?
I want Washington to win this game outright as long as Kyle Kuzma's rolled in. If he's rolled in, give me Washington's money line here. If he's not playing, and Rui Hachimura is a bit important, more of a rotational guy, but Kuzma's kind of one of these main guys on this Washington team now. There was that stat I read last week where he scores 20 points, they win a ton of the games. Yeah. And when he doesn't score 20, they've lost every game this season. This is a nice matchup where he's going to draw the 2 big front court against Cat and Gobert, where neither of them guys are really going to be able to keep up with him if he puts the ball on the floor. So he could easily get up over that 20-point marker here and win this game for Washington. At basically a pick 'em, the moment he's rolled in, give me Washington.
So I took a Porzingis under in this game, under 21.5. I just think they'll use him more as a decoy tonight to get Gobert out from under the rim so they can attack the hoop. What do you think of that, Tyler?
I don't hate that idea.
All right.
I could definitely see that being a play. My worry, though, is the decoy thing with trying to get him out to the 3-point line is if he doesn't bite like he tended to do against the Clippers the last few years we've seen in the playoffs.
Porzingis will have a bunch of open shots.
He's going to light the 3 ball up. So maybe if the 3 prop is plus money, I know we don't like hedging like this, like right off the bat. But if you're going to bet that under and you can get plus money on him to say hit 2.5 threes, I might dabble in on that just to back yourself up. Because if
my idea is they have to know though, right? It's not like DeAndre Ayton, right, standing out there, or Nurkic, or a guy that you can really fly from 3.
I agree, but it's just Gobert's tendencies to want to stay in the paint. And all you need is that hesitation and give him 1 step, and now he's shooting.
Okay, yeah, and so we'll see how that turns out. Obviously, that could be one that I could look really stupid on, right? And he could put up 36. So, but that's where I'm going on that one. JC, what did you think on this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough call. Both these teams are so hot and cold. I mean, Minnesota, they won 5 games in a row, and now they've lost their last 2. Washington, they're on a 3-game losing skid. So, I could see the result going either way. Both teams pretty good at scoring, though, so I do like the over. However, my favorite play in this game is going to be Rudy Gobert over 24.5 points and rebounds. His rebounds have been strong. His scoring's been a little bit on the low, so I kind of like a, no pun intended, rebound game for him here, and I think he should hit that number easily. He might get it in points alone.
All right, another Gobert-based prop. What do you think of that one, Tyler?
Yeah, I don't hate that one at all. I would rather just play his rebounds alone. Just because I'd hate to see him rack up 17 rebounds and score you 4 points.
That's fair.
That's my only play on that. I would probably just stick to just the rebounds.
Yeah, I wonder how, we talked about the way he's going to
guard gotten me Porzingis so many times with that, too, to where,
how do you think Porzingis will do against him guarding him?
It all depends on how much they want to give him the ball. Yeah. I think I seen some crazy stat on Twitter. It's Anthony Edwards has passed him the ball 4 times out of a couple hundred. in the pick and roll situations.
Yeah,
so
Dunker Spot was talking about that too. In the pick and roll situation, he only passed it 18% of the time.
Yeah, so he's not really getting the chances. And it's more of they give him the ball when he seals off a little guy. Like Porzingis is pretty tall. He might not be the most physical big man, but if he puts his hands up and Gobert turns around one of those hook shots, he could easily bat it away. So I don't think he does that good inside tonight.
Okay, that'll be interesting. But JC likes points and rebounds. Tyler says, hey, maybe just the rebounds is the way to go on that one. All right, a couple close games to start. Now we have our first big spread of the evening. Win the Orlando Magic. Catch 10.5, taking on the Brooklyn Nets. And Tyler, Brooklyn is a team that I don't know what to make of. You talked about not betting Philly. I'm feeling that way with Brooklyn right now. And boy, did you see this injury report? Okiki's questionable. Isaac's out. Markelle Fultz is out. Terrence Ross questionable. Cole Anthony out. Jalen Suggs questionable. Gary Harris questionable. Mo Bamba questionable. Wendell Carter Jr. questionable.
Is Paulo still out or is he back now?
He's back.
Okay.
So, and then on the Brooklyn side, no Watanabe, no David Duke. TJ Warren's always been on there. Seth Curry's back. Seth Curry's been shooting the ball well, but this team can't defend. I don't know. With this many people on the injury report, Tyler, it's hard for me to jump in right now. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if I was taking anything in here, I'd probably just hold my nose and take the Nets because all the guys on the injury report. The way I'm going to come at this game, though, you go take a look at how the Magic play defense recently and what positions have beat them up. It's point guards. You look at Kyrie's last couple games against this team, 27, 43, 60. Mm-hmm. Give me him. Where's his performance double at it? Because if we're getting like a 25-plus points and then win the game here, I'll be, right there. Kyrie Irving, 25-plus points. Brooklyn win the game, plus 145. That's my bet in this game.
Say it one more time.
Irving to score 25 points, and the Brooklyn Nets win the game, plus 145.
That's pretty good to get rid of 10 points and still get plus money. JC, how are you approaching this game?
Yeah, I mean, you and I kind of talked about it pre-show, just about how hard these large spreads are in the NBA. I'm certainly have no interest in taking the Magic with the points. But, yeah, I'm going to have a hard time laying 10.5. So probably avoid this one. I was thinking the over, but, however, I'm worried the Magic aren't going to be able to score points. So looking, if I can get it pulled up, at the team props, I mean, what's Brooklyn's team total? Brooklyn, over 117.5. They're only averaging 111 points per game. Yeah, I'd probably stay away from that. Yeah, this is probably just a stay away game for me. The one prop I found that I kind of like is Kyrie over 3.5 rebounds. Again, probably going to be a lot of missed shots. He's been picking up a few more rebounds of late. I'm interested to see what Paolo's line comes out at, but I haven't seen anything on that.
All right, yeah, and of course, they're not going to put those up until we get that news, and we probably will not get that news until after 12 o'clock my time, 3 p.m. Eastern. But when we do get that news, of course, make sure you're tuned in to the Hardwood Show on this channel. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And guys, we're here every day, Monday through Friday, giving you out the winners. All we ask for is the thumbs up. Even a day like today, where I think the slate is kind of murky. We're all kind of fogged over from all the family commitments and just trying to keep up with everything going on. And the NBA said, hey, we'll give you a huge 8-game, well, it's not huge, but an 8-game slate to try and parse through. I guess the good thing is we can be selective.
You're missing 2. We got 10.
Oh, wonderful. Shows you how my Monday's going. Speaking of one of those 10, let's talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are plus 3.5 in Toronto, taking on the Raptors, total 215. Tyler, when I see the Raptors at home at less than 5, it's almost an auto bet. But this team has been struggling without Scotty Barnes in the lineup. I'm checking right now. Once again, he's questionable. An interesting thing here, though, Siakam, who's missed a lot of time, is questionable as well. Maybe he can make his return tonight. Another tough game to cap without the news, though, Tyler. If Scotty Barnes is in, I'm laying it for sure. But if not, I don't know. Toronto struggled without him the last couple of games that he missed. What is your thoughts?
I'm taking the Cavs money line here, spread.
Why?
I mean, they seem to have rebounded off of that bad stretch that they had where we wanted to write them off. It was like, oh, the great defense in the NBA is now dropped to the bottom. Then they go and win 4 in a row, lose the game to Milwaukee, come back and beat Detroit. So they won 5 of their last 6. They're looking better. Allen is out this game, so that does worry me a bit. And so is Kevin Love, so the front court depth's a little bad. Mobley should absolutely feast on these guys for Toronto, though. Barnes and Siakam, I don't think play this game. Maybe one of them does, but I don't see them both in. And Mitchell and Garland should be able to beat up this backcourt for Toronto. I think they win this game. Give me their money line.
All right. Tyler taking a strong stand here. Here I'm just pussyfooting around, JC, but Tyler's taking a stand. Where's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, man. I mean, I was with you. I was kind of leaning Raptors at home, especially with Cleveland playing in Detroit last night, having to travel up over the border. But I don't know, man. Tyler's made a pretty convincing case, and I'd have a hard time going against that.
Yeah, I mean, so here's one issue with Siakam. I'm surprised you think that Siakam's not going to come back. If they put him on tonight, Tyler, why would you think that they would put him on the report if he wasn't going to play?
Just to get him on there. I mean, he went back into practice, so he has to be on the report.
I understand. Okay, there we go. So Tyler's taking a stand there. Heck, I'll join you. The kid's been hot. He's been winning me money. Why would I not join Tyler? Weird not taking Toronto at home, though. Really weird.
What happens when these two guys do get rolled out? For instance, say they do. What's that line change to? Does Cleveland become the favorite?
No, almost 3.5 points.
Okay.
Almost a pick, right? I think those two are worth 3.5 combined.
I agree too. I could see it even going to -1.5 the other way.
Yeah, maybe it does. I'd say you got 3.5 to 5, but that it's all same thing with the NFL, right? Moving through zero doesn't count as much. So
yeah.
All right, there we go. Charlotte Hornets +10.5 in Boston taking on the Celtics. I was telling JC before the show, Tyler, that I think that Boston is one of the few teams, at least like money line wise, that it feels like we can count on every single night. This team feels like they're head and shoulders above the rest of the league as far as just their ability to play well early season, be consistent, get wins. Now, they're not always covering spreads, but that's because they're constantly laying numbers like they are here tonight. Totals 10.5. Let me check what I had this one at. Dude, my computer's going so much slow. I have so much stuff up right now. I got to reset this thing. I have the Celtics winning by 13. I have Celtics losing by 13. I know you probably will. I have Celtics winning by 13 here. That would give me the edge. We know with these bigger spreads, that edge isn't the same as having like a 3-point edge on a -4 or something. But it seems like it's Celtics surpass here, Tyler. Am I missing something?
Yeah, I mean, I can't bet this Charlotte team spread. I mean, LaMelo he's just gotten rolled out. No timetable for returns. DSJ got the same thing. So their point guards are out. Rozier hasn't been shooting the ball as well as he used to. He's still hitting most of his shots, but his 3-ball hasn't been the same. Oubre doesn't really threaten me here against this Boston defense, I don't think. Horford's listed questionable. It has the little rest logo, but then when you click on his name, it just says questionable. There's no reason, so it's unknown. Tatum may sit with that left ankle sprain. If he's rolled in, they're going to smash this team. There's no performance doubles up for Boston right now. That would be the way I would go with this, is coming in on Brown to score, say, 28, or Tatum to put up 30, and they win the game. Because I don't want to lay the spread of -11 here. Yeah,
they've effectively priced us out. What do you think, JC?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of points. They probably will cover, man. This Charlotte team is just horrible. I was liking the over. However, I was kind of doing some digging, and I could see this like Boston winning something like 225-98. So as a result, I'm kind of liking the Boston team total over 118.5 points. Boston's leading the league, averaging 120 points a game. So I think that's a great play. And then with all the injuries to Charlotte, I was kind of looking over their props. I'm digging Oubre over 4.5 rebounds. I think there'll be a lot of opportunities. Hornets love to miss shots. 4.5 seems so small for a guy like Oubre. I think he can get that done.
Who's this team draft if they? Well, I mean, of course, if they end up 1, they're getting Victor. But if they end up in that top 3, are they going guard or are they going to go a different route? You guys think?
I think you got to go a different route. I mean, they're getting pretty strong at the guards position.
Like for
instance, are they going to get what's his name back, or is he kind of like done in the league?
They said that they're the Pistons and the Lakers are monitoring that situation. Miles Bridges.
For who?
Bridges. But
yeah.
I don't think he's getting back in. If it's one of them things, I think he like gets back in for a little bit, and then they're like, the moment he does bad, they're like, yeah, you're going back home.
Yeah. It's something too about like you see it more so in the NFL, but those guys never come back. And when they do come back, they're not playing at the same level.
Yeah, for instance, like Tyreek Evans got popped for a drug test, and he got banned from the league. Like NFL guys pop, like Hopkins popped for steroids, and he was back after 6 games.
Yeah,
so it's like it's a different world in the NBA when it comes to those guys.
Tyreek got banned from the league.
Yeah.
Remind me to tell you my Tyreek Evans story when we're off the air.
Oh God.
Let's move on though.
Was this from your club days when you were a bouncer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought maybe he like paid you to take out a hit or something, like you killed somebody for him.
Oh, we're already going there. I'm murdering people already. It's 9:50 in the morning. I've already been accused of murder this week. Thank you, JT Hayes. Thank you, JT. I hope you're proud of yourself. The Oklahoma City Thunder are plus 5.5 in New Orleans, taking on the Pelicans. Total of 232. Tyler, this Pelicans team, man, you loved them preseason, and when they're at full health, they're absolutely phenomenal. But no CJ McCollum tonight. Brandon Ingram doubtful. He's another one that I don't expect him to play. Do the Pelicans have enough firepower to cover this spread, even without their two top scorers?
I think so. I mean, just look at the matchup. SGA could have his way. Jose Alvarado's, I don't think is big enough to guard him, but Herb Jones is. If they could put Herb on SGA and slow him down, who's stopping the two big guys in the paint for the Pelicans tonight? Even if Ingram sits, Nance sits, Marshall sits, McCollum's already out, that just funnels everything through Zion and Joval against an OKC front court who's led by Poku, who's as skinny as me. He can't do anything against those guys. I want both of their props. Looking at their performance doubles, Zion double and win plus 255. If I can find a Joval one in here too, there's nothing listed for him yet. But once those populate, I want on his too. Because one of those two guys is doubling tonight, I think. And possibly both of them. And I think they win the game by about 10.
All right. So you like the Pelicans there. And I'm actually fine taking a stand there against this OKC team because I think the Pelicans are young. And I know Ingram's out and McCollum's out. So it's not like the normal deal. But I feel a little superstar subtraction vibe where we're going to get a little boost from those role players. It just pushes
the usage to the other guys too. Like it's just more usage for Zion, more for Joe. Trey Murphy gets more shots. Herb Jones will be out there more, so he'll put up some stats. You just got a bunch of guys that are going to put up more stats with.
It's a great matchup for both big men. I think you're absolutely right. JC, are we missing something? Is there a reason we should be taking the Thunder?
Yeah, I mean the injuries for New Orleans certainly are concerning, but no, I mean I think Pelicans will clean up here. OKC has the second worst defense in the league. Pelicans are going to run all over them. However, I do like Shai Gilgeous's over 30.5 points props. He scored 30-plus points in his last 4 games, as well as 7 of his last 8. I mean, so he's the only one shooting on that team. So I think that's a great prop. I love the over as well. So if we're getting 233 points in this game, there's no reason to think Shai won't get 31 of those. And I like the player double for Zion. However, I'm taking his under on points. Vegas has his point total at 32.5. 33 points would be a season high for Zion. And I don't feel comfortable betting on that. So I'm taking the under on that.
You're getting a giant number too, because FanDuel said at 27.5. You could middle that pretty well, and he could fall right in between.
Yeah.
Also never going to argue the SGA props. I mean, the dude's amazing. I think he's one of the best point guards in the league, top 3. Putting up 30 is nothing for that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, that means the number just dropped because I was looking on FanDuel like before the show started, and that's when I saw Zion 32.5, and now it's down to 27.
All right, so there's some good looks for that game. I think that's my favorite one that we've talked about so far, Tyler. I think that's the one I'm most comfortable jumping in. So far, the minus 5.5 on the Pelicans. And, of course, a great look on that SGA prop there from JC Zargo. Guys, show's brought to you by runpuresports.com. If you're not a member, head on over. The promo code just expired, but I'm sure we'll have one soon. And the fact is, if you join, sign up, take the plays, you won't need a promo code because you'll have plenty of money. People and the members can attest. We've been doing well, Tyler. I mean, I know the RPB tags didn't do good yesterday, but they're 5-2-1 on Friday. 2-0. I only had 2 on Saturday, but 2-0, right? Because we weren't forcing it. Rough day yesterday, but overall, it's like a fantastic week. We won 5 out of 7 days, and a lot of the days that we won were like 5-1, right? So, you're going to be able to get that money back if you join.
One game that irked me, I missed spread while I was gone over the weekend because I know damn sure we would have been on them. Mm-hmm. When the Rockets played the OKC the other day, and I seen that, I was like, that was definitely like a pick'em game where OKC was favored. We would have been on Houston again for what?
I gave that out. That was on the sheet for me too.
Okay, cool.
That was the RPB. That was the RPB tag.
I didn't get to see the sheet that day because we had no service.
Yeah, because you didn't have service. Yeah, no, that was the play of the day. Actually, POTD.
So what's that? That's 3 of their 4 wins we've bet on, or is it 4 of their 5 wins we bet on?
Yeah, like we got the Rockets nailed. If we bet the Rockets, they're gonna win. So That's fantastic. And the Rockets are up next tonight, Tyler, plus 12 in Denver, taking on the Nuggets. Total of 228. I think Jokic has a huge night today. His number is only 25.5, but you talked about who's going to stop the bigs when we're in that New Orleans game. Same question. I love my guy Şengün, but he's one of the worst defensive players in the league. Who's going to stop Jokic tonight? I like his props over 25.5 points, and I'd like a performance double if you can find one. Tyler, I know you're not high on the Nuggets, though, and we both love the Rockets. 12, is that a good number?
Give me the Rockets here, spread. I think they keep it close enough. I just don't think this Nuggets team is all that good. Yeah, Jokic puts up stats. He does well. But there's games where we might get to halftime and Houston's up 12 and he has 6 points. What superstar is doing that where they're not just like, ball, everybody else out of the way? We're not playing around with this team. Like, we're getting this over with. So I just don't see them doing all that well against a Houston team that's going to want to run. Michael Porter's probably not going to play here. Bones Highland might miss again. Yeah. So that's another key piece on their offense that'll be missing. If these guards get hot for Houston, they can definitely keep this game in single digits. Give me them plus the points.
All right. So Tyler's taking the Rockets plus 12. I like the Jokic points over. What is your thoughts, JC?
Yeah, give me Houston as well, because this Denver team, though they beat the Clippers, they come out of a game where they beat the Clippers by 10. They typically don't win big. If they're going to win, they kind of edge teams
I
out.
watched that game. The Clippers look bad.
The Clippers are very bad. I hate
so
to say
you know how we talk about it, and we'll talk about it on Talking Touchdowns next. You don't upgrade the Nuggets for that win. You downgrade the Clippers.
How are the Clippers still odds-wise at like the top of Tibet for championship odds? It's like them, Boston, Golden State. Like they
probably just don't want the liability.
That's what I'm thinking too. They're pushing those two to the top, and they're like, we're not dealing with this team at like 10-1.
Yeah, but if they get healthy, like they can, like you just got to get into the playoffs. Like we've seen it time and time again. If they get healthy and find their groove by the end of the season, get in as like a 6 seed, they can make a run at it, right?
Yeah, I just don't think they're going to get healthy. But I guess that's the liability they don't want.
The other big thing that makes me like Houston here, and I think that Denver comes out flat. I don't even hate taking the Houston first half here. They last played on the 25th. This team's been sitting around for days. Now they get to come in and play a game. I think they come out flat right here, and they just come out and they just run right past them.
No, they played on the 26th.
They played on the 26th? Okay.
They beat – that's the other thing I was going to bring up is that they're coming off a win against OKC and Atlanta. So, I mean, like, they're kind of hot right now. And at 9.5
Oh, no, that's Houston that played on 26. Denver didn't. Denver played on the 25th.
Oh,
they haven't played since. So I'd see them coming out flat.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
All right. Anything more from this game? Then we have 3 more to go here on the NBA Right Now, brought to you by RunPureSports.com. Anything else?
Nope, that's pretty much it for me on that one.
Chicago Bulls plus. Oh, what do you got, JC? Anything more?
I just say about now. I didn't have any props on this. We're good. Keep it rolling. Spread.
Chicago Bulls plus 1.5 in Utah, taking on the Jazz. Total 236. Tyler, the Jazz have been coming back to earth, man. They're they're off to a hot start, but they're kind of becoming the team that we thought they were. At the same time, we don't think the Bulls are very good, right, Tyler? So we like to bet against the Bulls. Bet against the Bulls when they play good teams, which leads us to the question: are the Jazz a good team? What do you think, Tyler?
I think they are pretty good, spread. I mean, they're a deep team. They're almost that team you build on 2K, for instance, when you're playing the video game and you trade off the stars, just like they did for all the role players. And then all of a sudden, their chemistry gets all the way up, and the team's just winning games. That's pretty much what they are right now. Caruso's questionable. Markkanen's questionable. If Markkanen's in a revenge spot, too, he can come back, beat up on the team that drafted him. So I like that here. They're also at home. Playing in Utah is one of the toughest places to play. Give me Utah here to win this game. They cover. They win this game by about 5.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's quite the edge. If you think I'm 5,
we had a bunch of injury news come out in the Boston game, too. Somehow Jaylen Brown's now on the injury report, questionable. Horford got rolled out. Tatum's off the injury report, and Rozier is now on it, listed probable.
Wow.
I think with Tatum, you can still cover the 10.5.
Yeah, as long as you got one of the main guys, I think you'll be all right.
But I mean, I expect a big game from Tatum then, because if he's sharing the ball,
and if Brown's going to miss this game too, he's going to eat up the usage.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right, but Tyler likes the Jazz minus 1.5 there. He made some strong points here. We got to point this though. Tyler does not like the Bulls.
If Markkanen's rolled out, I'm probably staying away from this. If he's rolled in, give me the Jazz.
Like, how many times have you bet the Bulls in the last 18 months? Like 3? Like, Tyler's not a big Bulls guy, right? So we have to let everyone know that. JC, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, man, this is a tough one. I mean, Utah, they're on a 4-game losing skid. They got to get right eventually, or will they? You know, like, was that just kind of a cute moment they had there, or is this team decent? The Bulls, they just don't impress me, man. I thought they were overrated last season. They've kind of just been middle of the road this season. I'm probably staying away, but if I got to make a pick, I'm riding with Utah as well.
All right. I mean, I like the Jazz, and I do like to fade the Bulls against a good team. Like I said, the question is...
It's at home, too, and we just know Utah's one of the hardest arenas to play in.
Yeah, definitely. So
I do love the under.
And we're not laying a lot. I mean, they basically just have to win the game. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. Okay, so we all like the Jazz here. I didn't love it to start, but Tyler and JC convinced me. Fade the Bulls. Too bad. I know they have a big fan base.
Bulls are 1-6 straight up in their last 7 against Utah, and 1-5 in their last 6 trips to Utah.
Yeah, but that's kind of.
I know it's two games a year, but it's the same arena. It's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, certain teams just can't play good in certain arenas. Like, I know I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there's a team, the Mavericks, when they go to their arena, they haven't won a game in like the last 16 tries.
Yeah.
And you just fade them when they end up there, and they lose every game somehow in that arena.
All right. Well, see, there you
go. Tyler,
go.
What do you think of the under?
I don't hate that play here. Yeah, I mean, you're getting a high number, and I think Utah's going to want to play more defense here at home after that bad stretch. The crowd's going to be behind them. I could see Chicago getting held under 100 points here, so definitely like that under. I think you could hit that under by a mile. I think after the first quarter, you could see a live number at like 212.
Yeah.
All right. There you have it. Robert's got a question in the chat. He says, are the Kings gonna king versus the Suns? So I'm gonna ask you that, Tyler. I'm not even gonna prep this game. You know, my emotions get away. And now the Kings are actually good, right? Last year was pretty easy. I just bet against them, right? And I knew when they were gonna get hot. This year it's tough to tell. Almost like the same thing as the Jazz. Are the Kings a good team? Because we know the Suns are one of the best. I'm surprised here. The Kings are +1, but it's essentially pick the winner, -110 on the money line. Why don't you just take the +110? Or +1. That's kind of weird. What do you think, Tyler? I kind of think the Suns are too good for my Kings, as cool as the story as it's been.
Yeah, I mean, I know Chris Paul is still out, and Sacramento is pretty much coming.
But does Chris Paul even mean anything at this point? I mean, they're hella targeting him.
The floor general part of it. Like, he's just there to, like, help get Ayton the ball and some pick and rolls. When the game sped up and they needed slowed down, he's the guy that grabs the ball and slows it down. So, I mean, to a point he's needed, but to a point he's not. I get it. Like, he is targeted on defense also. In this spot, though, it's like Sacramento has looked good this year. Have these two teams played yet this year?
No.
Okay. So they get the new shiny toy in the Western Conference that's supposed to be good showing up here. I think the Suns pound this team into the ground, and they make a statement here with them being the top overall team in the West recently. I know Golden State won the Western Conference in the championship last year, but the Suns had the 1 seed, won by a mile. They could be in that spot again here this year if they just keep rattling off wins. I think they pound this team right here. So give me the Suns at basically a pick 'em, and I think Devin Booker eats his defense alive.
We lost JC.
Yeah, he froze in the middle of my breakdown. I thought we were losing him.
Okay. All right. Here he is back. JC, Tyler likes the Suns. It's hard for me to argue. I've been let down by the Kings too many times. If I do bet them, which I probably will because Tyler loves them, I wouldn't be upset if I lost the bet. But I think Tyler's right on with his breakdown there tonight. I think, the Kings team's a great story, but I think Phoenix is one of the best teams in the NBA. How are you approaching this one?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not totally down on the Kings. Like, I think they could, still make the playoffs and be a semi-decent team this year.
Yeah, but this is one of the best teams in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, like, they had a nice little run there, but you look at who they beat. Like, the really only impressive win was at Memphis, and then they lost their last 2 against Atlanta and Boston. It's kind of
which aren't bad losses, right?
And that at Memphis win should have been in overtime if John Morant could shoot free throws.
Absolutely. And so it's just like, I think, they've shown they can't really roll with the big boys. So going up against the number 1 team in the West, at one point, I can't not take Phoenix. Like that's a bet. You just throw it on, and if you lose, you just say, hey, maybe the Kings are legit, but there's no way I'm passing on Phoenix -1 in almost any situation.
Yeah, and hey, on Bet Online, it's just -110 on the money line, so you could just bet them straight up to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as much fun as the beam is, I'm afraid it's not going to be lit tonight. Any props for this game, guys?
I got nothing yet on this one. I'll drop stuff in the Discord on our playbook for it. I'll look at the performance doubles and I'll see what we have listed.
Okay. Reminder, if you're not taking advantage of the playbook, I don't know what you're doing. The RPB tags have been absolutely crushing, and we expect it to continue tonight. The projections are already up. We'll throw in some game notes and, of course, continue to give out those winners. So members of runpuresports.com, head to the bet section, NBA playbook. You can get my projections, all of Tyler's props, and, of course, some notes and trends in the game notes section. Check that out. Give us the thumbs up. One more game. Indiana Pacers are +3 in Los Angeles, taking on the Lakers. Interesting spot here, right? The Lakers off to a terrible start when their schedule was tough. Then they played a bunch of cupcakes. Now they won 4 or 5, and Anthony Davis is looking good. Almost, we're doing this with a lot of these teams that we had projected to be straight tanks, straight lottery dwellers, and they're playing well. And the Pacers are another one. The Pacers have been playing really well. So the question is, because the Lakers haven't been beating good teams. They've only been beating like the Spurs. Oh, get what to do, right? They're beating the Rockets. All right, great job, Los Angeles. But, if the Pacers are a good team, I could see them covering or possibly getting the win straight up. JC, how are you approaching this game between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Indiana Pacers?
Yeah, I don't love it. I do love the under here. 237.5 seems way too high for these teams. They have decent defenses, so I don't see it like getting rung up. And it's the Lakers are just a team I have no interest in betting on. And Indiana, I don't really haven't watched much of them. I don't really know what they're capable of this year, so I'm not going to pretend to know anything. But just looking at the totals that both these teams have been putting up, I really like the under 237.5. And then one prop I came across when I was getting ready for the show is Jalen Smith, man, for Indiana. He's kind of been popping off. He put up 23 against the Clippers, 10 on Brooklyn. So seeing his number at 10.5 against the Lakers, I'm digging that.
Tyler, what do you think here? I like to bet against the Lakers, but I don't know if Indiana's good enough. What do you think?
I think they are good enough, but there's one name on this injury report that kind of makes me, I don't know why he's not on here. Is Westbrook all right? Is he completely good to go? He was busted open like a UFC fight in their last game. Is he just stitched up, ready to go, wearing a mask? Or are we going to get some late?
So if he's not on the report.
Yeah, I'm about to say, are we going to get late news here where all of a sudden he pops up questionable with a laceration injury because his face was busted open? So that's something I worry about because he has looked good running that second unit. This Indiana team, though, against this Lakers team, we talk about teams having their number. Every time we see these teams match up, I swear Indiana always keeps this game close regardless of the line. We've seen +7s in this matchup before, and Indiana's won the game outright. If AD sits here, give me Indiana outright. I think they can beat them. I think they have better guards. I think they have bodies they could throw at LeBron. And AD's the big mismatch here with how good he's played. So if he's out, I think Indiana wins this game. If he's in, I probably stay away and just play that under that JC gave out. But yeah, I need that Davis news for a side. And then another thing I wanted to bring up, I seen something on Twitter. They were saying to trade Anthony Davis right now on a sell high spot and trade him for Time Lord because he's not going to stay healthy forever. What would you trade an injury-prone guy for another injury-prone guy when one is drastically better than the other one?
Because it's the Lakers, and they just have this. If a site needs clicks, they just put on stupid Lakers trades. It's just
I seen it. I was like, whoever wrote this, they need fired. That's just a terrible trade. If you put that in the video game and click trade, they're gonna say, I'm never doing this again. Don't ever call me again.
Yeah.
It does look like Westbrook's playing though. I'm looking at everything. It looks like he's playing tonight.
All right. Yeah, that does not surprise me. So of course, man, we have to wait for the news. I know this is a running theme.
How did we feel about Zach Collins beating him up on the floor the other night?
When did that happen? I missed, dude. I'm so out of it, dude. The holidays are great, and I love seeing the family. They played on the 26th. He was in the paint, and Zach Collins just kind of came down with both hands and
raked his face and just busted him right here. And then LeBron played dad and fucking drug him away, put the towel on his head, was holding it for him.
And we got no Pat Bev after
after he blindsided Ayton, he cracked back.
That was ridiculous.
That was hilarious. It was weird. Ayton fell it took Ayton 3 minutes to get to the ground.
Yeah,
Austin Reeves looked like he was pissed too. Like, what are you doing, bro?
I don't think it was deserving of the suspension he got.
I think it was because it was
while we're on the whole basketball physical altercations, did anybody catch the Bryant Syracuse matchup where the kid slapped the other kid, and then he turned around and slapped the other guy that tapped him on the side of the face pretty hard, and he looks to his right and the team center's running right at him, and he did the good old hold me back, and he's just running around everybody trying to get away from the other team as they're circling him. You guys gotta check that video out if you didn't see it.
All right.
It was the kid that he was on the team that beat Kentucky last year. They called him Dougie Buckets. I can't think of what team that was.
Bryant?
He's on Bryant now. He transferred from the team that beat Kentucky in the tournament last year.
Oh, St. Peter's?
Yeah, that's where he played, St. Peter's.
Dang.
All right. Jeez. Yeah, no, I missed that one. I'll have to check it out. If you find it, send it to me on Twitter, Tyler, or just post it.
I got you. I got it right here. I'm on Twitter. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, hey, instead of sending it to me on the DM, put it on the timeline so everyone watching can see it, and just go ahead and tag me. And then, of course, that will be at Daddy Zargs. If you're not following, I'm pretty sure you are, right? If you're watching the show. But if not, and before we give the best out, JC, since you are relatively new to the show, we might have some new viewers that don't know all the great content you've been putting out. And guys, don't log off. We're going to do the best bets. Give us a thumbs up. But JC, what writing have you been doing? I know the props have been crushing. I've been catching the articles, but let the people know where they can find you and when those are coming out.
Absolutely, man. Run Pure Sports. Check out the betting section. All the articles I put out are free. So even if you are not a member, you can still see my work. I'm covering NBA, NFL. For those of you that are non-betting states, I'm also doing a lot of prize picks article. Great way to get on the fun if, sports betting's not legal where you're at. Yeah, I'm covering and trying to do it all. So come check out those articles, just providing the winners for y'all, all for free,
Yeah. So guys, of course, membership does have its privileges, but we are of the people here at Run Pure. And that's one thing that JC is doing, kind of giving you a little bit of taste of what the members get and the winning that we're doing. Tyler, we're going to start with you though. What's your best bet for today? Side total or prop?
I'm going to give me that Kyrie Irving to score 25 plus points in Brooklyn, win that game at plus 145. I think he gets to that 25. I think this could be one of them Kyrie games where we're watching it. And it's like this dude's making every shot and he's already at 30 points before halftime. So I love that play. All
right. What is your best bet, JC?
I'm liking Boston over 118.5, as well as Shai Gilgeous over 30.5 points.
All right. So weird not taking the Raptors as a short favorite. I'm bouncing between the Pelican, the Jazz, and the Suns. What do you think, Tyler?
You can't leave the Suns on the board.
All right. I got to fade the
hometown team. I'm giving out a second one.
I got to fade the hometown team. I'll take the Phoenix Suns as a pick 'em on the money line. As a bonus, Jalen Green props over 29 points, rebounds, and assists. Tyler, you thought that the guards could have a big night in helping cover that spread. What do you think?
I'd have to look back at his numbers and see how well he's been doing recently because he's more of like a streaky player. When he's hot, he's going to blow that number away. But when he's cold, he could go very under that number. So got to look into that one a bit more.
All right. Yeah. Sorry about that, Mama Rock's Homestead. But tomorrow will be more focused. Of course, Tyler and I do have to do a little prep for Talking Touchdowns, which is coming up in this channel in 15 minutes. Become a subscriber. You'll be notified when we go live. Guys, we're kind of talking through it today. Wasn't as prepared as usual, right? But we still found some winners, right? We still found some edges. And it was just a little more of a look at, the way that Tyler and I
like that Jalen Green prop. Looking at his last couple games. Yeah, I mean, 35-5, 28-9-2. His last two games, he's shooting the ball up over 55% in both those games. He could be on one of his hot streaks and you're catching that number pretty low where he could beat it in just points. So I like that prop.
All right. There you have it. Even a little bonus for you there, Mama Rocks Homestead. JC, there you have it. We'll be back next Monday. Remind me to change the start of the show to 9:30 because we never start on time. So we're just going to change the start of the show. Hopefully I remember. it won't be a crazy weekend this weekend. The family's all gone back to their various respective locales. But JC gives us some words of wisdom before we get out of here.
Straight money wins money. Run pure, baby.